So we will start off, and I've also included these tables, here. I've referred to, I think, around 10 articles for this, many articles on TB, as you might have guessed. So almost every literature review is here. So I've included these tables that you can refer, whenever you are reporting a case to know what are the typical findings, what are the words that you should use. You will know it's TB. And even if you don't know, it's TB, So whether you know or not, it is TB is not the question, right? It's not a diagnostic dilemma. It's just that, what are the words that you have to use? Yeah, a lot of things happened, including the war, which hopefully looks like has ended and there is ceasefire. So that's good news. But yeah, let's see tonight. So all right, let's start with the findings. So I've included these tables that you can write in your answers. So, take this as a reference, keep a picture of this handy. So this is the summary of the entire class. And after this point, it's going to be images all over. Yes, I will be working on the notes this month entirely. So by the end of May, I'll let you know what's the status. We'll be talking a lot now. So almost daily we have a class till 20th. So I will let you know how the update goes in real time. Okay. All right. So let's start. So in the chest, what you need to remember, we have primary TB and we have post-primary TB. Oh, amazing. Uh, Congratulations, Nikhil. That's great to know. So today also I interviewed another student of ours who's also taking DM in IR. So I'm very happy to hear that, so many of our students are going ahead doing DM. So very proud of you. Thank you so much for messaging and would love to have a chat with you also. So we'll get in touch with you. So we can definitely have a session where we can, take up the doubts of students and, there's a lot of lack of clarity about what to do once our residency ends. And in radiology, particularly now, you want to specialize further, right? So we will definitely love to take insights from you on that also. So yeah, starting on a happy note then. So now it's starting with TB. So we have primary TB and we have post-primary TB. Okay. Great, Nikhil. So we'll get in touch. I'll have the team take down your, contact and I'll get in touch with you. Okay, so now talking TB. So when we talk about chest, now this is a concept which is evolving, and in 2025 update only, they are saying that there is no difference in imaging of primary TB. So they have actually, nullified everything that we had known in pathology and all our medicine career. Now they are saying that there is no difference in imaging. However, just to give you perspective, because this is a very recent conversation that इसमें कुछ difference नहीं होता. आपको टीबी में सिर्फ active versus inactive करना है, and that's your job as a radiologist. You don't care whether it's primary, it's post-primary. That's not our concern. Our concern is therapeutic, whether the patient has active TB or inactive TB. But before that, the train of thought was whether it is primary. Primary का मतलब है I have acquired it and I'm presenting with symptoms. So that would happen in children and that would happen in immunocompromised patients, particularly HIV. Post-primary is, all of us as Indians have been exposed to TB. We kept it dormant. And then because of some sort of lack of immunity, maybe having a disease, TNF alpha inhibitors, anything like that, now the TB reactivates. So that is the difference, getting it primary and getting it post-primary, being latent and then getting reactivated. So primary TB. So I can say for all practical purpose, this is the pattern that we see more commonly in children and HIV/AIDS. For this, you always keep this context together कि children और HIV/AIDS में similar findings होंगे. Both of them have a lot of lymph nodes, usually unilateral. You have necrotic rim enhancing lymph nodes that we will see a lot of images for throughout the body. Parenchymal involvement. So whenever it's a primary TB, the lobe that is involved is around the horizontal fissure. So what is around the horizontal fissure? Let's say this is the horizontal fissure. So we will have the lower part of the upper lobe and the upper part of the lower lobe or the middle lobe. So this part, periphyseal, is what is most commonly involved. So this you already know. If you have a what is this called? This is the Ghon focus, and when it goes into the lymphatic, that is called as the Ghon's complex, right? So this is Ghon's focus, then it goes to the lymphatic, that is Ghon's complex, and once it becomes calcified by immunity, that's Rankay's complex. You may have miliary TB, which is bilateral hematogenous spread. Not audible? Uh, is it audible to others? Try to check your device settings. I've been talking for a while now. Can you hear? Audible, right? I think check your device settings. Pleural effusion also very common in children, right? So these are 4 things: consolidation, lymph node, miliary TB, pleural effusion. Post-primary, the buzzword is cavitation. When you see a cavity with a consolidation, that is the hallmark of post-primary TB. So here you have the involvement of episis. So now it's apex predominant, right? So this is where you have apex of upper lobe being the most common and superior segment of lower lobe, which is more common. The buzzword is cavity. You will have endobronchial spread. So 2 things which are unique to post-primary are cavitary changes, tree in bud, which indicate that there is endobronchial spread. Okay. And you will see bronchial involvement. So what is bronchial involvement? You will see irregular bronchial wall thickening. Very, very important. And that is how we have tree in bud. So a lot of times with bronchitis or endobronchial involvement, you will have peribronchial thickening. Along with that, you will have tree in bud appearance. Pleural effusion, less common. So I hope this is clear, because this is the fundamental thing that we are going to be reporting, right? So when you see children getting TB, you will see lymph nodes, you will see pleural effusion, and you may see biliary more commonly. Consolidations may be seen around the middle part of the lung, around the horizontal fissure. Post-primary is what we commonly see in India. Most common presentation, fibrocavitary changes. You will see bronchial thickening. You will see tree in bud. Okay, so that is what is more common rather than lymph nodes in post-primary TB. So ये हो गया chest की बात. Let's finish every theory here, and then we only have to revise it through images. Okay. So abdominal TB, most common presentation again are lymph nodes. You will see the same necrotic lymph nodes. There is nothing called as secondary TB. It's only primary and post-primary TB. Okay. So probably what you thought of as secondary is post-primary. So there's nothing called as secondary TB. Okay. Fine. Right. So now we have abdominal, where lymph nodes are most common. Peritoneal is of 3 types. You have wet type, which is ascitic type. You have fibrotic type, and you have the dry plastic type. They have misspelled ascitic. Okay. So wet ascitic type is the most common, जहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा peritoneal thickening मिलता है, ascites मिलता है. Fibrotic type are your large masses where you see peritoneal caking, and dry is the one where you have your SEP, sclerosing encapsulating peritonitis, that you are writing the abdominal cocoon. Okay, so these are the 3 peritoneal types. Please remember all this. Yes, यही सब आपको लिखना है in your theory questions. GI में, you know, ileocecal predominant, there is concentric thickening, there is mesocolon thickening, because of which what happens to the cecum? It is contracted and it is pulled up, right? So we will see ileocecal junction thickening. Going on to GU, kidney is the most common site, and through the kidney it goes down. So you have affection of the papilla, calyx, pelvis, infundibulum, bladder, everything, right? So we will talk about that. And the end stage is scarring. MSK, port spine is the most common in the thoracic spine. You know the paradiscal pattern, right? So it is adjacent to the end plate, and you have paravertebral abscesses. Peripheral arthritis, very, very important. You have the Phemister triad, which is essentially useless because it just says there is joint space loss, there are erosions, and there is effusion, which you find in any inflammatory arthritis. But just for theory, Phemister triad, what is important here is you will see marginal erosions, you'll see osteopenia. TB osteomyelitis can affect the metaphysis and, of the different bones. You know what is spina ventosa? This is what affects the phalanges, right? So it can also cause sclerosis, basically. So that is what you have to remember. Apart from that, neuro, you have again meningeal involvement, most common predominantly in the basilar cisterns, and that leads to upstream hydrocephalus, and there can be vascular infarct. So there is essentially meningitis that can predispose to vasculitis and hydrocephalus. Apart from that, tuberculomas can evolve into TB abscesses. So let me tell you about tuberculomas right here, right now. So when we talk about the CNS TB, remember tuberculoma.